Does anyone have anything they'd like to share this morning or comment on or ask any questions?
Yes, I wanted to share two things. Thank you very much for the Dantian breathing. You've been taking it through it. It's been awesome. And I had two experiences I want to share. One is when we did it today, you had us focus on the Dantian point, the point like that felt like in the center between the back and front walls. And when I started, I just like brought awareness there and touched it, and it felt like it kind of exploded into kind of like the full experience of like inner heat that I have typically when I have to use effort, like pressurization and breathing. And it felt like it just became like the full thing without any effort, and was like, like filling the central column and the body and the dripping and all that. And it felt like the message I was getting as that happened was that the inner heat is a matter of belief. And I kind of I've had experience of that before, but not this clearly. And it felt like that was the message that the divine was giving me, was that basically it's a matter of belief. And that I'd had a belief that it required effort because I was afraid that if I didn't, I would hurt myself, I'd damage myself and not take care of my body properly. And so I wanted to believe that it required effort, but that it really doesn't. It's just a matter of belief as to whether I want to experience it or not. So that was really, really powerful, just kind of having that experience. And then you had us focus on the point during the forum, which was awesome. And focusing on the point, it felt like, I don't know if you've ever seen like video, like in a movie or an ad or something like that, TV show, where the camera is stabilized like on like a person's head or something as they're walking. So their head stays still, but everything else is moving around them.
Yes.
So it felt like that was my Dantian. I felt like my Dantian was like absolutely still and like completely still, and everything else moved.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was moving. Like the Dantian was like completely still, but also it felt like infinite potentiality could manifest from that stillness.
Yes. Yeah. That's like how sometimes I'll talk about how you have to see from your dantian. It will look like you will feel like your eyes will be in your dantian.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about. That's good. That's good. Yeah. click, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Well said. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's kind of like a belief is an interesting thing, isn't it? Like it's a matter of belief. What does it even really mean? I want to say like, well said. What does it even really mean? But I think what I want to actually bring notice to is how difficult it is to take care of ourselves. And how effort. I feel like your experience like just kind of highlights it really well. That the reason we fall into effort is because we believe that it require, that it's like, just doing something from an effortless perspective didn't work. It failed us. It's like we have to experience, like, as you said, like, being able to take care of yourself. And at some point, what you'll notice is that the concept of hard work comes in, and hard work is actually important. It's like, you can't accomplish anything with hard work. It's kind of interesting. Effort, the kind of effort that you're talking about, comes in when we believe that there's something wrong with us, or it's like we got to do something extra because the way we are is not enough. And so and then we try and use effort to compensate for the sense of lack, and it's full of tension, and we put it in there because because it's so threatening to feel like we can't do simple things, such as fall asleep, and then so you didn't mention any specifics, and you don't need to, but it's like when we fail at some basic things that we observe other people being able to do around us, and we feel like we're not able to take care of ourselves, in those areas, effort comes in. And it's an interesting thing, because it typically is in the areas where we try to do the same things, for instance, that our parents try to do, and we can't. Like, for instance, when I was younger, my parents were very focused people. Actually, it's kind of funny. My whole family was very focused. And I was the only one who was not focused. And, it wasn't until later in my life, I learned, what actually allows me to be focused. And ironically, I didn't realize that I had to let my mind wander and be more relaxed. But, that's very counterintuitive. When everybody else seems to be able to just focus, you don't think that actually allowing yourself mind to wander and relax until it just naturally, settles on something, and then just being able to observe that and seeing when it wants to focus. You don't think that actually would do anything. And that, and when I say this for the listeners, I'm not saying that this is actually the way for everyone. But what I'm trying to say is that some of the things that other people seem to be able to do that we can't do, is counterintuitive. And because we're trying to do it instinctively in a different way than we're supposed to, it naturally requires effort, because we're trying to do it in a way that is actually not native to us. And so the genius, I feel, of the Taoist methods is that through observation, without evaluation, without judgment, and patience, which another way of saying it, that is awareness, by just continuing to bring awareness while doing things, and by relaxing and letting, by observing and seeing how your body naturally wants to do things, you start finding how your body was meant to be. And it's like a great gift. And then ironically, out of that, your beliefs starts changing, and you start realizing that, what you realized this morning, it was a belief that it required effort. And, it's just like how it all ties together. But to tell someone to just give it up, it doesn't work. And that's actually, it's actually unreasonable. So, because it's kind of like saying that, it's like telling someone to quit their job because they don't like it, on the faith that they're going to just be able to support themselves somehow, before they have another job. It's super unsafe. So it's kind of like, it's better to move to a new job and then quit the other job. It's like kind of, using the job, that analogy, Tai Chi basically says like, okay, let's seek the next point of safety, and then let's go to the next point of safety, and so on and so forth, until you are, if you will, at the job, your ideal job. And so it's kind of like how, we find ourselves gradually through awareness. And because there's no forcing, eventually you learn how to, like your body learns to trust, your mind actually learns to trust your body, if you will, your system, and then it goes really fast. That's why there are more realizations the more you train, not less, because like the integration starts happening a lot faster. So anyways, thank you for sharing it. That was, go ahead.
Yeah, that was super helpful. And I feel like you really named my experience. Because I feel like it's what you said. It's like, in my case, I feel like it was like lack of confidence I could take care of my body when I was younger, like basically like sleep and eat and like basically take care of my body properly. And so I felt like I had to effort in this way. I feel like what you said is really named it. It's like I had to do this, like bring in effort, because I didn't feel like safe that I could do it otherwise. And like they kind of shame behind that. So, and it makes sense. Like, I really like the job analogy, because that's like that. I can see that I couldn't have had this experience before, because it's like there wasn't the safety, and kind of like I felt like being able to transition and have new experiences kind of like allowed me to let go of the previous thing. So it seems like that the timing is kind of perfect that way. So thank you very much. That was really helpful.
Yeah, you're welcome. And thank you for sharing that. I feel like that was kind of invaluable sharing in terms of just bringing more compassion to what we're going through, right? Like I have the same experience, and I don't think people realize that shaming happens in simple things. For me, it was just basically my parents and all well-meaning people in my life saying, you just got to focus. and 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 then I say, hey, well, I am trying to focus.
Yep.
And then they're like, well, you're not trying hard enough, because obviously it mustn't be.
Yep.
Because they don't know what not being able to focus is like. So what else are they gonna say?
Yep.
So anyways, okay, that was good. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, very good. Okay, you all have a great day of exploration and being able to not effort or be effortless. Enjoy your cultivation today.
Thank you so much, Master Kim.
You're welcome.
Master Kim. Thank you, Master Kim.
Thank you, Master Kim.
Welcome. Welcome.